Hey everyone, I'm Susan Parker, and I am here with one of my clients, Tammy Hayes, and she has done tremendous on plan. But instead of just doing a before and after picture, I really wanted you to hear her story. She's done so well, and I'm going to let her just tell you a little bit about it. So, Tammy, do you mind sharing with us before you came to plan what your life was like and kind of what some of the issues were that you're comfortable talking about?
Sure. Excuse me. I have what's called IBS with diarrhea. There's two different ones. There's IBS with constipation and IBS with diarrhea. Um, no medicine for it. They couldn't figure out what it was, didn't know what it was. Didn't matter what I ate when it first started. I could eat, and then 30 minutes later, I was in the bathroom. So um, I'd lost like 10, 15 pounds because I couldn't eat. And what I did eat didn't stay.
Hmm.
And, just got weak and not feeling good and just miserable. Um, so I tried several different things. Finally, a gastroenterologist introduced me to the nutrition through his thing, and they thought maybe it was gluten and high fructose corn syrup and sugars and a bunch of that stuff. So I went on this no gluten diet, if you want to say diet, but to knock out all this stuff and then introduce it back in after it's gone out of your system. Well, the minute I introduced it back in, I still had that problem. So I went gluten free, which helped immensely because it was about a 180-degree turn on it because it didn't matter what I ate. Like I said, it didn't matter how much time I got up before I had to leave. Usually it was 2 hours before because I knew I was going to spend an hour to an hour and a half in the bathroom. And
Yeah.
then sometimes I didn't make it to whatever we had to go to. I would have to cancel, going to the kids' ball games or going to their trap shoot or going to town with a friend to a football game. I just couldn't do any of it. And so I ended up just not
So
eating
sorry.
if I was going somewhere. Uh,
Yeah.
it was very inconvenient. And sometimes if I had made it to where I needed to go, like shopping or to a football game or somewhere, and I would eat, then it would flare up and I would be in the bathroom for the next hour and make everybody late going where they needed to go. So
Missing out on life or feeling, yeah, like you can.
yeah, and you feel, of course I could feel it coming on because I knew the signs and the symptoms at by that time because it'd been, let's see, my oldest was a baby and he's 36, 30, yeah, 36. So it'd been going on since then.
Okay.
um and I guess it's hereditary because my mother had something like this. It wasn't as bad. She could control it a lot more than I did, but my mother passed away in 95, so I have no idea what she did by that time. So,
Right. And
um,
many of us do have genes like that. And
yeah,
so it runs in the family. But just because we have the gene doesn't mean we have to live like that because it's if
right.
we activate the gene. And even if it's
Yeah,
activated, we can deactivate it. So tell
yeah,
us a little bit about that. You came to plan because you were still having a lot of trouble.
yeah.
And so
I
what did you
had
find?
a lot of stress going on and a lot of trouble with our living situation. We take care of my husband's mother and father, and just the stress and everything. It didn't matter what I ate from then on, it's been bad. So I had to do something because it was just getting worse again. And I didn't want that to happen because you don't feel well. You get shaky, you get you're hungry, but you don't want to eat, and you want to go here, but then you have a headache, or just your whole body system is just miserable.
Right.
So I got to do something, and I knew you from Angie
Yeah.
and had been trolling you guys, I guess you could say, to see what you were doing and kind of getting an idea of some recipes. And I had some recipes that I made before this and that you all had, and I thought, you know what, Tammy, give it a shot. Something's got to happen because if you don't, you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I tried it and finally got, I guess, my system cleaned out, and I have maybe a mild one every so often. I call them flares, just a mild flare. But for the most part, I haven't had any problems like I'd had before. It didn't last all day long. It didn't, I couldn't go anywhere or do anything. So,
Right.
uh, I just took it and ran with it. And the bonus part is I lost weight with it. My stomach feels better. I feel better. I'm not as grouchy or moody, I guess you could say, even though, that's part of the
So
process.
share how much you've lost. How much have you lost now?
Um, I went from 150 pounds to right now probably 127. So quite a few.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and my clothes fit better. I feel better, not having as many problems or many issues, and so it's been a blessing. And uh, my husband, who usually doesn't notice those things, has noticed that. Yeah, you're not. You look like you feel better. You look better. You're not in the bathroom all the time. So, he's agreeing with what I've been doing. So, because he knew I had to stop it somehow and do something. Because the medicine, they have medicine now for it, but it just made it worse for me. It didn't work.
See that
So,
a lot. Many of the medications cause diarrhea or constipation, which is what the issue is in the
yeah,
first
yeah,
place. So there's
and
side effects to medications. Yeah.
yeah, and it just didn't work. So I told the doctor, hey, it didn't work, and he's like, well, just don't use it anymore. So I was back to writing down what triggered it and what went on and doing this and that and the other, and there are some things I still can't eat that trigger it, and some seasonings and things that I can't do. So this plan is basic seasonings. You got your salt and pepper and maybe a little extra spices, but nothing over spicy or anything like that. And if it is, you can leave it out or put however much you want in, and
Right. You can modify it.
yeah, modify it. And that's what you need to do with this type of diet. Now I still do gluten free because I'm afraid if I go back to the same way, it might happen. So I don't want that to happen. So I still stay away from that stuff and take a probiotic and use this plan. And that's what I do.
That's awesome. And I love that you didn't just come to lose weight, you came to get healthy. And as a
Yeah.
result, you were able to lose weight too. So even 20 to 25 pounds makes such a difference in how we feel about ourselves. But what I've loved is knowing that you're up working Royals and Chiefs games and you get out and go to your grandkids' events and you don't worry about everything in life. Now you can have a life and you went out with
Yeah.
your friends. And I love hearing those stories of
Yeah.
yeah, you have gut health and you're not having to starve yourself. You were telling me how you just didn't eat because you were afraid something would happen when you were out. And now you really get to learn to fuel your body with the right food. And that's what we see a lot. The stomach begins to heal, and now your stomach can tolerate more things. And then as you want to introduce that back. So I
Yeah.
yeah, you've done an amazing job, but talk a little bit too. I know that it took a little while for you to get into the books, but do you feel like the education and the learning to how to change your habits and mindset, how has that helped you too?
Yeah, that has helped. My mindset was, I'll do it and see what happens and then go from there. Because it's been horrible for
Yeah.
the last so many years that I'm like, yeah, yeah, right, right. You have that doubt because nothing's worked.
Right.
Nothing. And so you have that doubt. So I had to change my mind, and the books helped, and the healthy food has helped change my mind that, oh, I don't want to eat that because I might have that problem. So I've had to kind of rework what I do and see and go, is it worth it? And, so yeah, it has helped to figure out, you have to change your mind, because if you don't change your mind, it's not going to work.
Exactly. And we'll always go back to those bad habits. So, well, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. You've done an
So,
amazing job, and I'm super proud
thanks.
of you. And I love, yeah, not just that you've lost weight and you feel good. And I know you sent me pictures. You got to go buy all new clothes and you
Oh
look
yeah.
amazing in them. But I really love that you've gotten your, not just your health back, but you have gotten your life back. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, congratulations. And I love
Thank you.
getting to work with you. And thank you so much for sharing your story, because
Sure.
I know sometimes we're afraid to talk about this, yet so many people are struggling with this, with all the chemicals that are put in our food. And literally you feel alone and you feel
Yeah.
like you have to stay home and you can't be a part
Yeah.
and you're missing out. And yet everyone's afraid to talk about it. So thank you for sharing your story and for sharing your hope.
You're welcome.
And you're doing amazing. So congratulations.
Thanks.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.